Uh, hmm. Oi. Hi there. This is your Sensei Al Bob, greeting you at our channel in Shambhala. Our channel, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And I want to make a statement that this show is for your entertainment. It is more or less um, you know, a show for adults and for people who have open minds. That's one of the other credentials you need to watch the show, an open mind. I realize you shouldn't believe in anything, especially anything I say, because it's all a bedtime story. Once upon a time, a long time ago. That kind of story. But if it resonates in your vibratorial species, your heart, then it may ring shamanically in a way that gives you insights into who and what you really are. And that is why I do this. I do this in service to you. So the cadre can come together as adepts, that they can communicate with each other, that in every day and every way, from my example, you can take the piece of the earth and make it stronger by your co-creating with love, with all of your relations. And that's why we do Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. For when you do the work, all else follows. Whatever you need, the universe will provide. So this evening, we're going to have a guided meditation. And let's say what this evening is going to be that of the law of attraction, bringing forth, bringing to you. All that you wish, need, want. And this can only occur when you ask for things. Well, that will assist you in helping others. To help you, you need to help others. So let me help you help others. And that's what the cadre is here to do, to bring forth an alternative aesthetic, that which illuminates the reality of love's co-creation of abundance. Now, churches, a good deal of Christian churches, it's one of the cadre. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Al?
Hey, I'm doing a live chat at the moment.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. You want to say anything to the cadre?
May the force be with you.
Okay.
All right,
everything's good. Why don't you watch? Why don't you join the chorus and join the live chat?
Okay, I'll go look right now.
Okay, buddy.
Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you later.
See you, bye.
Yeah. It's interesting that people do this quite often. And I'm not going to shut down the live chat to have a conversation with an individual when they can come online and be part of the live chat. And earlier this morning, I did a live chat, and our sister from Sweden was there, and Jane and the fish and a few others, and it was a nice chat. Right? And what I'm looking for is for you folks to bring to the chat questions, insights, '09 and a few others, research, and all of you at some time step up and bring to the chat a chorus of love's co-creation's truth. And that's why I enjoy doing the chats, because we're there and you bring forth. So about some more of those thumbs up. Go get some friends to subscribe and become the cadre. Have folks go look at my xratted.blogspot.com, where I have my novels. Right now I have 3/4 of a novel. It's about 6 or so short stories, about 40 pages each. That gives, a good example of who your Sensei Al Bob is. And those stories are based on, they're like the good book, based on things that kind of happened. So the story is kind of is, right? But it's there for you to mull over, to dust the pipes of your organ, and to be more awake of who and what you are. Oh, just got out of the jacuzzi. I love the jacuzzi. Ooh, it's warm and the bubbles and jets and ooh, it makes my poor little sore body feel good. So we need at least 7 or 8 if we're going to do a guided meditation. And I'm going to show you how to bring forth the power of attraction of whatever you want in your life. Now, with power comes responsibility. With responsibility comes karma. So I want to duly inform you and warn you. You will have, responsibilities, and you have to follow this the way that it calls you. The way that it calls you will bring you karma. Will be taking you, gave me, opened the doorway of out. Like I said, there's going to have to be at least 8 people who join this chat or do this. Because without at least 8 people, the shamanic energy will not flow properly for me to anoint you adepts who want to know about a visualization, guided meditation, of the responsibility of having the law of attraction be yours. And as you know, it's not yours. You don't own anything like me. As you become A adept that ascends your conscious free will, you will realize that the material plane is illusion, and those material things are at best a tool to achieve a positive outcome of love's co-creation. Here it is, 11 minutes. Anyway, we are waiting for the cadre. It's about 8 p.m. here, give or take, 11 minutes. And I'm just going to sit here and meditate and pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. "12 minutes and 42 seconds. We don't have at least an interesting chat going on by 30 minutes and 30 seconds. I will go and enjoy that bed and draw the curtains. I'm heading back to the school. I'll be there for a week or 2 or 3. I have a number of operations I need to have that I'm scheduled for. And John has, at the school, had taken on a great endeavor to clean the middle floor and paint the concrete floor. So I've been away 3 weeks, and I hope he's done so I don't have to live amongst the haze of chemicals. My first operation is middle of this week. I hope everything is clear and I can easily just come home after the operation and lie in bed instead of having to climb something or do something. But anyway, that's why I wanted to enjoy this nice suite of my friend. And enjoy that jacuzzi over there and the shower and the pool and all the rest. I think I'll go for a swim. That's what I'll do. I have until 10 o'clock to go for a swim, and it's 8 o'clock now. And it's, 15 minutes, and no one shows up. I will close up shop, and we'll start doing more frequent live chats at the school. Hopefully everything's working. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going to, if we can get 8 people on the live chat, making some insightful resonance about the process of the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is a very interesting law in that it is a dual law, a law of duality. It's a shamanic law, and it is a alchemical law. And if we get 8 people on in the next 14 minutes, I will discuss and explain, define, and show, and give you a guided meditation through this whole process. And I've already asked my teachers who are in the hierarchy whether it is appropriate. And they said that it is by the adept's intent. They know that my intent is true because they have been with me through the whole existence of my conscious free will, which is, millennia. Now, my bag of water is mortal, but my conscious free will is immortal. It is here to serve love's co-creation. And for you to hear the tale of the old crone, enough of you have to be here, and we have to journey into our Akashic records and bring forth our guide, the old crone, from her farmhouse down our chimney. And then we will gather and then walk into through the shortcut of from our Akashic record to our own personal lodge, where we will travel through our coat room to the coat room of the old crone. So, it's now about 20 minutes into our live chat. No one has arrived yet. So in another 10 minutes, if we don't have 8 folk here, I will close up shop and go take a swim. And I will come back at midnight, or I will come back 10 minutes before midnight, which will be an appropriate time to try it again around midnight. There is something shamanic and alchemical about that time. And again, if no one shows, I will do another live chat around daybreak, because again, that's another time where the power of love's co-creation is stronger. So I've been looking at YouTube and television. I've been watching TV, and it's very obvious that the powers that shouldn't be, who manage the material world, and the hidden hand that is the hierarchy of the Luciferian illusion of the material world, are desperately working on trying to capture our conscious, ascending free will that euphemistically is called our soul. But it's kind of hard to capture a soul that has a free will. Because free will can change its mind. Right? You can be deluded at 1 minute and descending the next. And as we are already in the Aquarian age, we're no longer in the Piscean age. All of the hegemony of a hierarchy of the scalar Templar powers that are the mirrored image of the powers that shouldn't be. Just as the hidden hand is a mirrored image of love's co-creation. And this is why there is no good or evil. This is why there is no anything to believe in except love's co-creation. See that clearly. Oh, 22 minutes and 31 seconds. And still no one here at the live chat. Let's give this a try. Is there anyone there? Wow. Don't worry. Oh, well. It's now 25 minutes. Oh, there's a nice blue sky. Oh, definitely looks like tomorrow will be a beautiful day. And when you wake up to who you really are. And who is that? That number one there? Who is in the chorus? Who is in the chamber? Anyone ready to say hello? Tell me how they're feeling? Have your Riyat Sensei Al Bob kind of listen to your story? Give you credence to your existence? Come on, one. Let's hear from you. It's now 25 minutes, another 4 minutes and 50 seconds. If there isn't at least 5 people chatting. Oh, who's there? Jane. So I wanted to do a guided meditation on the tutelage of the process of the power of attraction. And the doorway that you need to go through, and I'm going to do a guided meditation where we go back to the old crone's farmhouse to the day that she showed me how to use the process of attraction, the law of attraction. And it's quite a simple rule, but there is a great responsibility to it. And that responsibility is connected to a cost of integrity and the integrity of your intent. And that is the true power of attraction, in that it makes you focus your intent on your integrity of your connection to love's co-creation. So what do you think about that, Jane? It was interesting how this morning's chat, once I was getting into something that was relevant to the powers that shouldn't be, and intent, yes, understood the power behind the action. Yep. And that is the key component of the power of attraction. But it was interesting how YouTube started, doing a number on the show this morning once I started to tell a story about something that would resonate with the adepts. And I'm sure we will not have any interference with this because it will be part of the process will be us manifesting through the intent of our integrity. So we are following that path, and we should have no problem. Because that will be a shield that will protect our digital communications. Anyway. Oh, Janie Poo. I said if at least 5 people weren't here by 30 minutes, I was going to go take a swim. Why don't you tell me what you did today, Jane? How you feeling? What's going on in your life? How's your doggy doing? Anything of that nature? Ooh, Jane, have you communicated with Lena in Sweden? And Jane, I said, let's see. Zoe is good. I got flowers. Oh, good. So someone brought you flowers, or flowers are blooming around your house along that path that you walk? And Zoe's your puppy, right? That you walk with. I always enjoy to watch your walks down that path, the stone-lined path. Oh, it's 30 minutes and 39 seconds. Yes. Oh, you got flowers from Mom's Day. That's always nice. My mom could be the demon seed from the bowels of, the worst of the bowels. But all it took for her to be her nice self is for me to bring her flowers. And every time for 30 years, um, from 1980 until the day she died, I didn't live with my parents, but I took care of them. So I didn't see them every day, but I saw them at least once a week, depending on what I was working on. If I was out of town, maybe a little longer. But every time I would go see them, I would bring my mother flowers. That's all it took. And she loved to cut them and put them in vases. I brought her a number of vases. She liked green glass vases. So I brought my mother, for a good 30 years, flowers at least twice to 4 times a month. And that kept me on the good side. And the fact that I kept writing things all the time, and I would give her my composition books, and she would correct my spelling. And she was the first, not the first person, but she was appreciative of my scholarly usage of grammar and poor grammar and misspelling, because she understood that spelling was a spell and that my writing was a shamanic ceremony to break those spells. My mom was Irish and German, and those two sides of her family, she came from, because the Germans, the Teutonic Knights, they came from, the Masonic lands of shamanism of Babylon, and my mom's family came from that side, and they were writers. My second cousin was John Steinbeck. From the forest. Yeah, like I said, I was lucky to experience spring 5 different times this spring, because I live at different levels of the mountains and in the valley. So I got to see spring happen a lot. And 2 weeks ago, when I had that toothache, and I'm going to have more teeth extracted, because they need to go. The only way I could control, because I had no money to go see the dentist, I had to come back to Roanoke to go to the prison dentist. And that's where the poor people go. We can go to the prison dentist. And they take whatever money we have. And really all they do is pull. If you're children, they will, do dentistry on you. But if you're my age, they just pull the teeth. And I know from my experience of friends who have false teeth, it's not a joy. So I've been putting it off as much as I could. My mom was really interesting. She was 50-50, she was Irish German. She was Irish in her wrath. She was German in her intellect and her vengeance. She was German in her meticulousness and her Irishness. She was extraordinarily creative. She was a really, in her manufacturing of food, she was not a cook. She wasn't a chef like me. But what she was a rocket scientist baker. She could make some serious kuchen. And our house had been part of a farm, and we had about 8 apple trees and cherry trees and pears. And you couldn't really eat them, but they would fall when they were ripe, and she'd let them be on the ground until the bees and hornets and everybody had their share. And then she would have me go out there and pick up all of the stuff, and they were mushy. And she would turn that mush into fillings of kuglens and pies and turnovers. And so my mom was 50-50 Irish German. And me, my intellect is German, my heart is Irish, and everything, I guess, north, below my diaphragm, is Italian. So I have this rocket scientist brain, this bard of a heart, and the Dolce Vita below my diaphragm. And my dad was a real piece of work. Sarah, good to see you. There's 3 of you. Come on, I'm going to give you some more time. We need at least 6 if we're going to do a guided meditation tonight. Yep, perfect mix. And German food is very good. I mean, everyone talks about Italian food and French food and Mediterranean food, but a German food is this kind of comfort food. I mean, I lived in Sweden, and I would go to Europe a lot because I had a train that zinged right down. And they had an airplane that was like $20 from Stockholm to virtually any capital of Europe. Stockholm to Paris, Stockholm to Berlin. I love Berlin, or Munich, or Stockholm to Rome, Stockholm to Milan, Stockholm to Madrid, and I would, $20 was like, really. And every time I got on a plane, because the EU had started in the 70s, it hadn't really became what it is now, but it was working on it. And all the original 10 or 9 or 8 or however many it was, you could go from their country to another country without borders. You had a visa. When you got on the plane, they kind of stamped your visa, and you had that visa in your hand. And I had an international driver's license that was issued to me in Sweden, so it looked like I was a Swede. But anyone who talked to me or looked at me, in those days I always wore Hawaiian shirts and cowboy boots and lots of different hats. And so Munich, and Oktoberfest. And they had these brats, and the bread that the brats were in were just amazing. And I don't think I've ever had a roll like I've had in Germany. And the way they make goulash, the way they make schnitzel, the way they make potatoes, they got a lot of different, the only other people who have as many kind of potato dishes as the Germans are the Polish and the Irish. you know. And yeah, maybe the Eastern Europeans, but it's the peasant food. And all the different cabbages they had, the way they made cabbage, and blintzes and sour cream. But when you talk to most people about German food, it's not the most memorable because they haven't known any real Germans. Now, my mom couldn't cook. She could bake but cooking was my Italian grandma's thing. And that's where I learned to be a chef, my Italian grandma. And from all the different restaurants I've worked in, and 41 minutes and 22 seconds. So we still have 3 folks here. Let's see. So Jane got flowers. Sarah is here. Who else is here? There's 3 of you. Jane and Sarah. Well, the only 2 have joined the chorus. There's a 3rd lurking back there. So Sarah, was today? Are you a mother? Did you have a Mother's Day? I'm kind of a mother. I ran a housing project in New York, and I had 127 godchildren. I call them my godchildren because I took care of them. And I left New York in '88 and went back in 2011, and I saw most of them. They were still in the neighborhoods that I planted them in, and they all were succeeding very well. They all had families, they all had businesses. Most of them had gone on to higher education, and made me proud. There wasn't a single, and these were all people who were going to, if I did not get involved, they would probably have died within a year from their environment, from their anger, from their inability to make decisions that were healthy. To spend the day with my beautiful daughter, Winter. That was the best. And my mother, of course. Oh, good. So it was a girls' day. That's good. And we are all like plants. We are. It's how we're cared for in the beginning. And it's like that proverb about the seeds thrown to the ground and only a few seeds grow. But it's the kind of ground you put those seeds in. Why am I in a hotel room? Well, John, because this is a very nice hotel room that someone paid for. Look at that bed, John. Ooh, that bed. Ooh. And there's a jacuzzi over there, and there's a pool I'm going to go swimming in. And there's a really great breakfast that they have here. And, my friend just put me up here because he's my friend, and I didn't have to sign a contract, and I didn't have to, not worry about making a mess, he just put me here because he knew I was in the deep green and I was going to head towards the school and sleep on the rack, and, I have to go be operated on in the middle of this week coming, the week after that, and then the week after that. And so I'm going to be in desperate, unbelievable physical pain all those days. And so he thought it would be just nice for me to relax, in the jacuzzi and go swimming. John, I kind of told you about 25 times that before I left to the deep green, that I was going to be coming back as a guest, a visitor, because I needed medical care. And, I kind of told you that in a few messages. But yeah, I forget things too. Dragon, haven't heard from you in a long time. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, the guest house. Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult for me to hobble up those stone steps. If I fall, I'll break like a china cup. But that's okay. I can always deal with everything. And I appreciate your gracious hospitality, John. You're a true blue. I thought you might have been able to get everything done in 3 weeks that I've been gone, but that's okay. I've been looking at your channel and the floor looks amazing. So, we're getting close. There are 5 of us. So I'm going to do a guided meditation where we're going to visit the old crone's farm, and we will relive the experience of her shamanically, ceremonially showing me the process of the ascension of the powers of attraction. What day is your surgery, Al? I got one this coming Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not quite sure, but it's in the afternoon. I'm going to have 3 or 4 teeth ripped out of my head. That's going to be fun. And then earlier of the week coming, I'm going to have some orthopedic work done on me. And then towards the end of the month, I'm going to have my eye surgery. Those are my 3 surgeries. Yeah, so you will come to the deep green soon, Dragon, and what we do there will be fun. And when I do work, I am very focused. I work for an hour or 2, and then we go off and have fun. We go to the waterfall or the lake, or into one of the college towns, or down the mountain into Asheville, North Carolina, which is about 70 miles, 100 miles away. It's a nice little road trip. And I have a lot of friends there. I was going to take, I had folks visit the Deep Green, and 2 of the groups came from Asheville, and one of the characters came from the coast. And it was very interesting in that they couldn't see past the surface of things. And I lived in Asheville for 10 years, and the youngsters who showed up, and I started to tell them stories about Asheville, they were like in awe. Oh, you were part of that? And the people who are still the main movers are my good friends who I can stay at. And they go, those people? And I said, yeah, so why don't we all go back to Asheville and we can stay at you. Oh, no, you can't stay at my place. I live with my parents. I said, but you're 26 years old, Anyway, so, the thing that they were upset about was, that nothing kind of worked. that it was like lots of snakes and things running around and raccoons. Like I said, the raccoons that are in my deep green are just like the raccoon in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. They have that kind of attitude. I mean, they know I have no food. They just go through all my stuff and throw it every place around, you know. I've started to dose the place with cayenne pepper, and even that, it kind of ameliorates. I mean, the wuss don't show up, but the hard case OGs, still throws things around. And I can't move around enough to clean things, put things away enough to where they can't just wreck the place. So the people who came visiting were like freaked out. And I have really nice campsites. Yeah, they'd have to sleep on the ground, but I have tents, tarps. They didn't, they wanted, you don't have a house or a bed for me to sleep in? I said, no. Kind of have to, I have a mattress, I have a piece of foam, put down on the ground. I got a tent you could be in. And they didn't see that as an adventure. They saw that as an annoyance, that it didn't meet up to their standard of materialism, right? So if you come to we got 7, okay. There we go. Well, John, it's hard to rehab the forest, John, it's not a house, it's the forest. I keep calling it the deep green. It's a forest. You stay in a tent, But it's Cadillac. I got electricity, I got running water, I got a toilet, I got all nice amenities. They don't always work. Like when we got there, the raccoons had made a mess of my garden hoses. So, and I don't have any money to fix them. And I've had that toilet there for 11 years. And they were upset but there's no door. There's no door. There's no door there's no door. I mean, if you come in, you'll see me on the toilet. There's no door. I said, so we'll go into the shed, And so people really and this one person I have limited resources. I had 2 rolls of toilet paper, and this person used them up and clogged the toilet. I've had that toilet for 11 years, never, ever getting clogged. And this one person clogged it up. And it's like unbelievable. Yeah. And, drugs aren't bad. It is the improper use of them, And certain drugs, methadone. Who invented methadone? The Nazis, Methamphetamines, again, it's a military drug. Heroin, military drug. It's an opiate that came from the oppressive English motif, right? And but anything that grows is a gift from the great maker. So I wouldn't even consider those things that grow as a drug. Now, if they are processed, well, that's when you start to get into when the poppy is turned into opium and opium is turned into morphine, and then into et al. That's when you have the dark shadow of the hidden hand. But if you, as Towie always says, just a little bit, not get obliterated, but just enough to knock you out of phase so you can see who you really are. Now, meditation, which we are going to start in a moment because there's 7 of you, and that's good enough for me, your Sensei Al Bob. Yeah, they left the toilet clogged. I had to go looking in my car for the spare change to buy the gasoline to drive the 12 miles to buy a plunger. I never had a plunger there because I never needed one, because the pipe going down to my septic tank is like this. So once the water starts going down, once it gets through the loop of the toilet, well, they clogged it right there. They put just Dragon, if you would, can you send me a link of that site? I always love that. Or put it in my inbox so other people can go look at it too. But I think here we are at 56 minutes, getting towards 56 seconds. Yeah, but that's okay. The snooty nose res kids, or what I like to call the trustaforians, where mommy and daddy pays all the bills, and they drive their parents' car and have no sense of, what life's about. That's a trustaforian. They have a trust fund. Anyway, but in essence, I knew a lot of kids. I mean, I went to school mostly. I went to private schools. I was put there by my cardinal godfather. And I knew that, I went to school with the richest people on the frigging planet, and they did not have to worry about money. But they were not very happy, And why they liked me is because I didn't care about their money, I liked them for who they were. And they knew that I would always be by their side, stand by them, be their friend. Because from an early age, I had this attitude of whenever anyone said or did anything mean to me, I didn't go, oh, I hate that person. Oh, I'm going to have to punch him. Oh, no. I would step back and say, what's going on here? What's the real cause of this? Right? And my grandma taught me this. She taught me to look 3 blocks down, to see the bad people coming and just get out of the way. Right? 58 minutes and 3 seconds. So everyone, I want you to get into a comfortable place and relax and get ready to breathe deep and let go. And then remember the beautiful things that happened to you today, and energetically put that beauty into your persona, because that's what I do in every day and every way. I take the piece of the earth and I make it stronger. See it clearly. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Okay. So I want you to get in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Oh, we almost had 8 people, and 4 of them chickened out. But you 3, you're sticking in there. So let's go on a guided meditation. Your intent of your integrity will give you the wherewithal to co-create with love the power of attraction. So there you are. You are meditating. You're breathing in deep. You're bringing forth the prana from the universe. There's only 2 of you left? Many are called, but few have the skin to hold the tabernacle, to be the tabernacle. And that's what you have to be, going to learn how to have the power of the attraction of your intent. See it clearly. So I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to go into a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind will be focused on your breath. Breathe in that 20% more. Fill your lungs. It lifts your diaphragm up, and then you breathe out 30%. More. So it makes it easier to breathe in that 20%. And by doing so, focus your conscious mind on your breath. Your conscious mind, that squirrel that's in the Rolodex of the metal cage of your mind. Your brain, your mind is not, I repeat, is not who you are. It's not even the depository of who you are. It's not even the vessel of your consciousness. It is just a Rolodex of irrelevant facts. That's all it is. It's like a server. Things go in and out of it. And it gets its perceptions from our avatar. Can only experience 0.094% of the universe. The rest, the other 99.99904%, is represented by dark matter, or the darkness. You know, as the good book says, and in the beginning, all things were dark, right? Well, that's where you go when you start to breathe in that 20%. That's where your consciousness is. That's where your server of your conscious free will is. You know, this body here, this bag of water, this blood pipe, is simply an avatar. You know, has nothing to do. Just a training ground, yeah? That's all it is. And that's why there's no need to believe in anything, because the only truth there is love's co-creation. And you have to be connected to that. And that's where the server of your conscious free will is. It's love's co-creation. And this avatar, this meat, but this mud puppet is just the sandbox to practice in. See it clearly. And one, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. You're breathing in the prana. That is the force of love's co-creation. That is all around us. That is the energetic that gives our bag of water the power to animate itself, to move around, to represent. And when we are connected through that golden string at the top of our head, up through our Akashic record into our superconscious mind, into our lodge, where out in the garden is the tree of life and the tree of knowledge and the pond of the great link. That's where we can be at one. And two, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. See it clearly. Let all the physical irrelevances drift away. See only the beauty of your co-creation, the beauty of every day, that in every way you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger. See it clearly. And two, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. See it clearly. And two, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. That's correct, Dragon. As you breathe in the nanobots, you destroy their negative intent with your positive, loving co-creation. See clearly. And the thing that is stronger than any artificial artifice of the hidden hand or the powers that shouldn't be, or the illusion of Lucifer's material world, is the prana. The prana from love's co-creation. That's the physical resonance. That's what nature is. That's what Gaia is that prana power. And the male and the female parts of prana is the male part of that energetics, the shamanic energetics, and your chi is your female connection to Gaia. See it clearly. And your conscious mind is no longer focused on anything of the Luciferian illusion. You are just surrounded by the prana, that light, and that's photonic light. Not, Lucifer's the illuminated one. So the light that we have around us is incandescent, and it gives you a shadow, whereas the photonic light shows no shadows because it is made up of love's co-creation. See it clearly. And two, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. You're breathing in that prana. It's going into your lungs. You're expanding your lungs 20% more. Your diaphragm is being lifted. Your cilia of the sacs of your lungs now are expanding, and thus experiencing the energy of the prana that is going into your lungs. And it's more than animating your avatar of your bag of water. It is ascending your conscious to your free will. You see that clearly. And as that current of that photonic light goes into every cell of your red blood that is going through your lungs, and that blood is iron rich, that's why it's red, and it holds a current, and that photonic light is being swirled through the veins and arteries and capillaries of your body. And there is the swirl that goes against the walls of those veins, arteries, and capillaries. And inside of that swirl that is going clockwise is another swirl that goes counterclockwise. See it clearly. And inside of that swirl is another swirl going 90 degrees counterclockwise to that. And what that is doing is creating a polyphase scalar photonic energy source. And you see every cell of your body is being illuminated by this photonic light, this shamanic scalar force. See it clearly. And you are entering into a shamanic ceremony by energizing your breath and bringing the photonic light of the prana that you're breathing in, and you're grounding it to Mother Earth through your chi. And what that is causing is a multi-dimensional polyphased scalar photonic field around every cell of your body, and that is known as your mitochondria. And I want you to see your cells splitting, mitosis occurring. And as you're unzipping that cell, all around it are little lightning bolts energizing. And what it's doing is creating this multi-dimensional portal in every cell of your body. So you don't need no machine, no Stargate, no spaceship, no time machine. All you need is your consciousness, your ascended conscious free will. You can create as much energy as you need. You can bring forth, attract whatever you need or want. But through that attraction, as my father would say, there is no free lunch. So that attraction has to be done with a proper intent. And that's why ceremony is important. And that's why we are going to illuminate ourselves in our imaginary mirror and take that illumination into our Akashic record, which is our subconscious mind, which is not a scary place where the monster lives. It's a library of your Akashic record, of your conscious ascending free will's existence from the alpha to the omega. And the Big Bang is just that when Lucifer was so angry that he, had the war in heaven that broke the hegemony of heaven and caused all this conflict to occur, everything that we've experienced for the last 16 billion years has actually happened in less than a nanosecond. But our consciousness, to appreciate what it all is, its totality, we have strung it out in an illusion of a linear existence, thus giving us a sense of perspective that we can freely choose what we want, not just fulfill the hegemony of the Creator's original plan. See all of this clearly. and see yourself in your imaginary mirror surrounded by this photonic white light, and you're projecting it into your subconscious, and you're walking into, like a flashlight, and you're walking into your subconscious mind, and you're seeing in front of you this big library, all these big books. In front of you in the room is this gigantic fireplace. It looks like it's made out of these big stones, but they're not. Those are Akashic records. And that flame in that fireplace is the eternal flame of love's co-creation. And in front of the fireplace is a very nice surrounding of lounge chairs for guests to come and visit and have tea. There's a nice tea table there. And then in front of that is your reading table. And behind that is your reading chair. And above it is your reading lamp of photonic light. And to your left is your librarian. See your librarian clearly. To the left of your librarian is your animal totem. See your animal totem clearly. And to the left of your animal totem is your guardian angel. Your librarian is there to bring you the information, bring you your Akashic record. And she's it, her, him, whatever you see your librarian as, it will bring you your Akashic record, put it in front of you, you open up the book, and there's 2 blank pages, right? Put your right hand on the right blank page and your left hand on the left blank page, and you lean into your Akashic record, and you evacuate, you eliminate all of your anger, all of your fear, all of your hatred of your existence in the illusionary world. You create a void, not an emptiness, a void. And so what takes its place is love's co-creation in your heart. See that clearly. And then comes forth on those 2 blank pages 1 big screen and 28 little screens around it, right? The big screen gives you the big picture of whatever you're looking at. The 28 little screens give you 28 other dimensional views of the same thing. Now, as you see this, you can get text or a moving picture. It can be like YouTube or Google or a book or a play or however you want to view it. And you will receive a great deal of information, but that may not mean that you understand it. And that's why you have your animal totem there. Your animal totem is your personal griot. I am your griot Sensei Al Bob, but your animal totem is your griot of your Akashic record. And as you view the truth, you may not understand it because you're deluded by your presence and existence in the Luciferian's illusion of the material world. And you ask your animal totem for, the 411. What's going on here? What does this mean? And your animal totem will tell you a story. And as your animal totem tells you a story, you will understand the information of that story. It gives you perspective. And on all the 28 little screens and on the major screens, things will change as you understand and give you a better view of the subject matter you are looking at. Now, the truth can be brought to you. You can be given assistance to understand that truth. Now, you can be put into a position of anxiousness because this truth will set you free. And most people who are meat puppets, mud puppets, or just bags of water are more content with being comfortable than knowing, are more entrenched in a belief that causes them pain than any truth that would set them free. And that's why you have your guardian angel, because your guardian angel is there to protect you and give you the understanding of being protected, and understanding that you don't have to, be upset or anxious or hateful or spiteful or vicious. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be any of those things. You can be kind. You can be generous. You can be graceful. And 3, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is now totally focused on your breath. That little squirrel, that's your conscious mind in the metal cage of your Rolodex of useless information, is now asleep. And you're given the opportunity to see and feel and be part of something bigger than yourself. And that's what your intent is about. And that's the process of creating, through your conscious free will, integrity of your actions. And by exercising, being the example of that integrity, that's when you get in balance with your karma. And you don't have to worry about your dharma. Right? And you can follow the path of that golden string. And that is the true essence of alchemy. To make gold out of base metals. And this little ugly bag of water, this meat puppet, this mud puppet, that's the crass base metals. The gold is that thread that brings us to our higher conscious free will. So that's what we're following, that thread coming out of our higher chakras. When we were in the Piscean age, we were really set in our lower 4 chakras. All we could think about was food and sex and selfish motivations and gluttony and greed for useless material things. Now, we live in a material world, it's nice, this little shirt kind of is comfortable, and it's, keeps me in that nice Goldilocks temperature, not too hot, not too cold. By wearing this, I don't have to use the machine over there. That's an air conditioner and heater, so I don't have to burn, carbon footprint. And this shirt right here, this one, I got out of a garbage pail in Jupiter, Florida. Boy, do they, on Thursdays, they throw stuff out like you can't believe. That's where the rich people live. You can get TVs and couches and lamps and furniture and clothes. They just throw it out, I mean, they're so lazy, they don't even take it to Goodwill. They just throw it out. And if you go at a certain time, the city has Goodwill follow the garbage trucks on Thursday. And they pick through what they want and put it in their trucks. And Salvation Army does the same thing. And they switch Thursdays in Jupiter. And the garbage guys take the rest of it away and take it home if they want. So anyway, I used to go through it before anyone got to it. People would put it out there Wednesday night, and I would go, and the garbage guys really didn't go after that stuff until 1 p.m. on Thursday. I mean, they would go do the poorer people in the neighborhood, but they would give the Goodwill and the Salvation Army morning in the first hour or so of the afternoon before the city would go through and take it. So I could go through, the neighborhoods at, 9 to 10 to 11 on Thursdays and get things. And, no one really cared. No one made a fuss, as long as you didn't make a business out of it. And that's what's, Goodwill and Salvation Army's thing. But I got a lot of nice clothes, and this one shirt here came from it. But I have about 4 different versions of this that I got at Walmart's, I got out of garbage, I got at Goodwill's. And so the real deal is, the material is just a tool. It's not an end to the existence. It isn't why we're here. We were not brought here to be merchants. We weren't here to become rich. We weren't here to proselytize commodities. We were here to help all our relations. We were here to be part of a cadre, something greater than ourselves. We're here to ascend our conscious free will, to be there in every day and every way, to be in co-creation with love's co-creation. See it clearly. And that's what we're here for. And that's why we're still here. No matter, Jesus said there's wars and rumors of wars and all of that. Because someone once asked him, so when was the end of time, Jesus? When were you going home? And he said, above my pay grade. And Jesus never left. And that's why we're still here. And yes, there are wars and rumors of wars. But those are just, sandboxes for people to play out their traumas, to play out their psychoses, and if you die there, you come back. If you learn something in that process, you'll have baby step up. If you realize to serve in love's co-creation, a bigger step up. That doesn't mean, I had a very nice waffle this morning, and I cooked it myself because the guy who runs the kitchen is the employer of my friend, and I've been coming here for years, and so I don't go in the kitchen, but they know how I like stuff, So I had a very nice waffle. And I enjoyed that waffle, and I had butter, and I had cream cheese, and a little bit of sour cream, and just a dash of maple syrup, and a few. I have this cereal that has freeze-dried blueberries, so I get a bowl of that cereal, pick out the freeze-dried blueberry, and put them in the mix on the waffle iron. And it really does a nice blueberry waffle. And they do have fruit from a can, and I put that on there too. And so I had a very nice waffle this morning and yesterday morning. But I didn't live for that waffle. I didn't crave that waffle. I didn't, put the existence of the universe on the level of my need for that waffle. That's why I only had one. Could have had 10. Had one. So we are material beings at this time, and to punish ourselves for that, is not the right thing to do. Those guys who would whip themselves, Yeah. And where the collar came from priests, it's to have them suffer all the time when they're awake. And 3, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of conscious relaxation. You have breathed in that prana, illuminated yourself, taken yourself, and watched every cell of your body mitose and seeing the process of that separation. The doorway into the photonic land of your imaginary mirror, where we have dream sleep right behind our lids. See it clearly. Going deeper and deeper and deeper. Oh, you feel so relaxed. You feel so comfy. See it clearly. The only other thing that kind of kills the other than meditation, a little vitamin C. Does a nice job on the gums. And the other thing that's really good mouthwash is beer, any kind of beer. See it clearly. See your body healed. And you illuminated yourself in your imaginary mirror and taken that light and shined it into your subconscious where your library is. And you have sat down at your reading table and your librarian has brought you your Akashic record and you have eliminated all of your fear and anger, self-pity, self-loathing, your fear, your hate of the other. You've let all that go. You've eliminated it from your essence. And you're floating up out of your reading chair. And you're going over to the fireplace. And there is all this smoke coming out of the fireplace. And through the smoke, it doesn't envelop you, but it's right in front of you. And it acts as a doorway. And out of that big cloud of smoke comes the old crone. She is tall and she is graceful and she is beautiful. She looks like an angel and she looks like a rose and she looks like a willow tree. And she has a fat face. That's not that fat, but it's like the rest of her body, more cherubic, nicely formed, not gaunt. And she envelops us in her cloak and covers us and walks us back to the fireplace. And we hear a sound like the wind. And then we step forth and she opens her cloak that has been surrounding us. And we are on the front meadow of her farm, right in front of her farmhouse. And we walk to her porch where there are 3 cast iron pots that have tea in them. And there are numbers of very comfortable chairs around a big table that we sit down at. And she pours us tea from the first pot. And that tea quiets whatever physical discomfort you may have. And it fills your body with a well-being of a physicality that you can do anything. You're not tired. You're not bored. You're not uncomfortable. And then she pours the tea from the second pot. And the second pot fills you full of clarity. And what occurs is that blurriness that is the incandescence of Lucifer pops like a bubble, like a soap bubble. And that kind of greasy grayness of that soap bubble disappears and is replaced by the clarity of the photonic light of love's co-creation. See it clearly. See it clearly. And this clarity brings you understanding of your presence, of your intent. I'll be right back. Focus on your breath and illumination of your presence. I got to walk a little bit. I needed some water. And 3, you're in a deep, 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 deep state of relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. That squirrel in the metal cage of your Rolodex mind has gone totally asleep. And you are your avatar, your bag of water, your mud puppet, is in a very relaxed place, whether you're safe and secure, you won't roll or fall down or be physically harmed through this process. But your conscious free will is becoming that clarity that I was speaking of. That clarity of your intent. The intent of your integrity, of your connection to love's co-creation. Because what makes that connection is your integrity. Because love's co-creation gives you the opportunity to experience this life, to learn from it. So you can consciously choose with your free will what you want to do with your consciousness. See it clearly. Do not forget this. Feel the generosity and grace of the old crone. Feel the unconditional love of the prana. That is the energetic of existence of your conscious free will. And experience the understanding of unconditional forgiveness that is the grounding of your chi and the flow of that current from Father Sky to Mother Earth. From our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. Connected to our Mother Earth, our Chi. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and the hour of death. Amen. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. And every day and every way we take the peace of love's co-creation and we make it stronger. See it clearly. Om Shanti. Aho. And now this sense of integrity is the ground or the gravity that you feel that supports you and pulls you in the direction of your integrity. I want you to feel that clearly. And you share that with your guardian angel. And the more you can walk in that grace of the conscious free will of being awake to love's co-creation and your position of service to that which is greater than your physical experience. See it clearly. And it isn't a belief in a dogma or a theology or a business plan. It is a experience of love's co-creation, manifesting that gravity that pulls you towards your attraction to that power that is love's co-creation. So when you put through in the lens of that clarity of photonic light's vision, that's when you can draw to you any physical thing you need. Anything. That hat, that shirt, that car, that job, that career, that love, that meaning. All of that is love's co-creation. And without it, everything that you think you're experiencing, that you think you need, is just an illusion. See it clearly. I'm going to be quiet for a moment, and I want you to experience the integrity of the force of the power of attraction. And Benjamin Franklin made a set of glasses. He was well known for his interest in optics. And he had these glasses with many lenses on them. And ophthalmologists I have a device called the Opticon. It's this little thing you look through. It's like a big thing of glasses that have all these lenses that they switch through so they can figure out what the power of whatever glasses you may need. Well, Benjamin Franklin made glasses that were like small, like no bigger than these, but had many lenses that could come up and go down. And you see me with a number of different pairs of glasses on. That's my version of the Opticon, that I can look through these different lenses. These one sets are pretty good at having me read the live chat. But when I add other ones, I can see other frequencies. And that's what I'm doing. So when I read what you write, I can see through and past just the words, the spelling. And I can break down the spell of the illusion. And I can bring forth to you the lessons of your Griot Sensei Al Bob. See it clearly. So now we are sitting on the porch, still on the porch, in those comfy chairs on the old crone's porch of her garden farmhouse. And she pours us cups of tea from the third cast iron teapot. And it's a lemon grass, Abelian, sage, psychotropic tea. It clears the palate of your psyche. It allows you to see more than the very, very limited frequencies that our Luciferian illusion, materialistic meat puppet eyeballs see. You're drinking that tea. It clears your palate and your throat, your esophagus, your lungs, your blood, all the different hormones, all of the different energetics of your different cranial sacral pulmonary systems. We have our nervous system has neurons and nerves, but that is a crass system of communication. We have these 9 other pulses in our body, energies that resonate with their different chakras in our body. And again, with our cranial sacral system and our venous nervous system. I'm going to be quiet, and the 3 teas that you have drank will come together in harmony in your conscious free will. And those points, those glands that are the tuning forks of your chakras, your pineal gland, your thalamus, and all the other resonating points of photonic light in your body. See it clearly. And close your eyes. And feel your breath in your lungs. And feel the photonic light in every cell of your body. And then every day and every way you take the piece of the earth and you make it stronger. And feel the embrace of your higher self in communion with all of your relations, all of your masters, with your conscious free will, and see that higher connection with love's co-creation and why you're here. See it clearly. And I'm going to be quiet now and meditate myself and resonate that photonic light that will enable myself to go into yourself. So I can ascend to fulfill my nature to serve a higher cause within love's co-creation. And that higher cause at this moment are you, my cadre. You who are in state, you who are feeling the energy of your conscious higher free will. And you're feeling the gravity of that energy, which is the power of attraction. And to attract that which you want, that you need to have to be able to serve in a higher octave in the chorus, in the shock troops of love's co-creation, we will have to resonate together. Here we go. Oh. And 3, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. You've illuminated yourself with your breath, and you've quieted your conscious mind. You've traveled through your Akashic record, through the vehicle of the photonic light of your imaginary mirror, just like the big imaginary mirror that was in Madame Olga Kluber's Curiosity Shop. See it clearly. Feel that we are all one, so say we all. Feel that we all are relations. Feel that we are all that other. And by reaching out with our empathy, of our open heart, we realize there is no other. There is no threat of the other. There is no need of war, no need of anger, no need of anger, no need of crime, no need of selfishness, no need of greed, no need of pettiness, no need of anxiety. For love's co-creation is the essence of abundance. So say we all. So feel we all. So know we all. See it clearly. And you are refreshed and energized from the first pot of tea. You're clarified and brought through the understanding of truth through the second pot of tea. And you are illuminated and given the auspices of the power of your integrity's attraction. So from this moment on, with every time you go into state, your clarity of your integrity will become clearer and clearer and clearer. So I want you to see this clarity. I want you to feel this attraction of your integrity's intent, of your conscious free will. See it clearly. I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and as I do, you'll come back into your avatar, and you will remember this journey, and you will practice bringing forth the gravity of your kindness and the power of your integrity's intent, of your conscious free will. See this clearly. And once you're all back, I want to hear from you, from what this experience has meant for you. See it clearly. And 3, you're becoming more aware of your breath and your presence in your avatar. And yet, it's like deja vu. You have one foot in that presence of the integrity of your intent, and you have the other foot in your avatar. And you feel like a rubber band being stretched. And 2, that rubber band snaps and you're brought together You don't get thrown asunder, you're brought together. And you feel more at one with who you are because you are together. You are together in every day and every way with love's co-creation. Feel that clearly. And one, I'm going to say one 3 times, and then I'm going to snap my fingers, and you're going to be right back here. See that clearly. And one, you're back here now in your body. You feel awake, refreshed, aware, conscious of your conscious free will's ability to attract your intense integrity of your intent. See it, feel it, be it. Do not try, be. And one. And right back here now. And one, you're back. See it clearly. So, gang, how'd you feel about that? Sublime. Subcon. Nice to be in that kind of intent, Jane. That presence. That you felt, meaning me or you, is that other you of love's co-creation. That's the you that you felt, Jane, because I felt it in you. I still feel it in you. I feel it in all of you. I love to hide in the bed, under the covers. It's one of my fondest places to be. You know, I love to be under the covers with someone co-creating, you know. Or just in meditation. You know, every morning I have to meditate for 5 minutes to an hour to get my body energized so it can work. I mean, my doctors constantly tell me, you know, boy, you are like losing weight. You are, you know, my blood pressure, you know, was pretty out to lunch when I was, you know, was way up there. I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, luckily I didn't stroke out. But if I put the right intent into my morning meditation, I can keep my blood pressure, you know, at 100/60. I can keep my blood sugar around 90, you know. And that's just with my intent, you know, my power of attraction of my intent. And I act as, through my example, that pebble in the pond that sends the waves out to everyone, even people I'm not talking to, even people I'm not being part of. They are still all my relations. Everyone in the universe is all my relations. And that's why I'm still alive. So, guys, I want, you know, love is an interesting word, but can we think of a better word? You know, I'm constantly talking about this alternative aesthetic. Hey, Twitch, good to see you, girl. Yep, go back and watch the video. You know, that's what's great about YouTube. You can go back and watch tonight's. This was a good guided meditation. Yep. I don't need drugs. Yes, I do like a little puff now and then or a little nibble now and then, but only when I share it with others. If I really want to get out there into hinterlands by myself, like, when I meditated on the budding dogwood tree for 3 days, I was able to quell the infection in my jaw and quell the pain. So, what's another word for love? Okay, because people use words. I'm an etymologist. It's part of my little bag of tricks because words are spells, and the spelling of words are a spell. Words are those symbolic metaphors called sichons that magicians, that alchemists use, that connect different dimensions. So I try to, if you go to my xratted.blogspot.com and read my writings, you will see my spelling and my grammar are my sichons. And as you read along, that's why sometimes people have to read and why I break my novels down into cuts, littler stories, but they go together. But they are put there shamanically and botanically and chemically, act as a ceremony to change the reader. That's why I keep saying, you guys need to go Robitussin. The first time I went to Ireland, you want to use the word Robitussin instead of Jane, compassion. Okay, love, hearts, yep. Robitussin. I can understand what Dragon's talking about. When I was younger, because I was strangled to death at birth by my, umbilical cord. My first 10 years of life, I always had laryngitis. I always had sinusitis. I always had pneumonia. I always had strep throat, especially on my birthdays. I would get it every birthday. And I'd be sick for a week or two or three and often land up in a hospital. And it wasn't until my 10th year, when this nun tried to kill me in the hospital, that I said to and when I woke up, I was tied to the bed and I was in my own filth. I said, that's it. I'm never getting sick again. And I never have been. I've died a few times, but I've never been sick. And so being that sick in the first years of my life and being around the people of intent, my grandma and her friends, and the people of love is your herbs. Yeah. And I'm an herbalist, and that's how I muscle test people with love. That's how I figure out what herbs. And when I make my, I don't even like calling concoctions because there are teas I make, but mostly I make things that I put into essences and then use them. In acupuncture, people will put a needle into a specific point to deal with a gallbladder or a muscle or your heart or an organ or whatever. And then they put moxie on it and set it on fire. And the energy of that moxie goes through the needle via the heat into that specific point that then energizes the organ. Well, that is, I studied that, form of alchemy, acupuncture, by a Chinese doctor in Chinatown for a number of years. He was another of mine. He was, instead of Shinto, he was Buddhist. And he was a great scholar. And because of my other mentor, Colonel, um, I was brought into his school. And so I learned acupuncture, but my understanding, because when I studied with these masters, it wasn't just like turning to page 32 and memorizing this and taking a test. No, my teaching with all of my masters took many, many years, and then went into other energetic forms. And I still study with my masters when I go to sleep, when I meditate, when I go into state. These are all places that I, commune with my masters, and they, keep me on the straight and narrow, on the path, that I came here to do. And so my acupuncture, I do shiatsu massage, and it uses the same points as acupuncture, but you kind of use pressure points, right? And I make up essences that I apply to that point, and then I put pressure on it and meditate the prana into that space. So instead of using moxie or heat or a needle, I use pressure, palpitation. I use, um, a essence I make, and the heat I use is my meditation, the intent of my meditation. And that is the process that I use the power of intention and the power of attraction. I attract the prana through that point, ground it out through the chi, bringing a balance to the whole body. And I had a practice for a number of years that people would come and I would heal them and do vision quests with them. And when I went to school to get my MSW, that's, psychotherapy was the term they used. My term was vision quest. And I did not do it for money as a job, as a career. I did it as a higher service. And now, pretty much, when I had that practice, and it wasn't a practice means you don't have, you're practicing, haven't got it quite down yet. You're practicing. But when you are manifesting, the algorithm of homeostasis through your intent, at service. So that's what I do. I do service. And now people, if they wish to give me a gratuity, not a problem. Because then if someone wants to offer you something, like staying in this room, my friend offers me this. I don't, oh, I can't take that. Oh, no. I thank them for their gratitude, with my gratitude of their grace and their generosity and their humility and their, what's the word? When people share their homes with you. Hospitality. Those are the essences of healing. No one needs anything. All we have, when we have gratitude, that's when we have balance. gratitude brings us. Squirrels? The squirrels are coming back? You know. Anyway, it's been 2 hours, 16 minutes. Let's see, Twitchy. Let's go back. So Jane, Twitchy, Esoteric Dragon. Who else is on the line here? Sarah. How you all doing? Are those good chocolate bars or just industrial chocolate bars? Because I used to have a girlfriend who was a chocolatier. She manufactured chocolate and she was Swiss. It was like in her DNA. And she was Italian Swiss, which is even more. Real cocoa. Okay. And so that was a year she had a chocolate store in Asheville, North Carolina back in the day. And even though it was like a dead town, she made a good deal of money. And my buddy who had a server, he, in the 92, 3, 4, 5, he put her on the internet and was selling her chocolates over the internet. He was at Craigslist before Craigslist. This guy, he should have been a trillionaire, but because, he was nice and kind and not cunning, he was brilliant, but not cunning or jealous, he shared with everyone. And that gave her the level of notoriety. And by 95, 96, it wasn't just us in Asheville anymore. And she was brought to, first to Charlotte. And she started a real high-end store in Charlotte. And her investors brought her to New York. And then to LA. And then to London. And then I lost sight of her. But she was a beautiful woman. She was all about chocolates. And she loved it when she would make this special aphrodisiac chocolate. And we would cover parts of our body with it, and we would eat it off, lick it off, suck it off, chew it off our bodies at the same time. She really, really liked that. And that's why I was saying, so I hope we're eating good chocolate because it can be better than sex. All the physical, taking a good crap, a good piss, good sex, a good meal, good breath, good smell. These are all great gifts from the great maker. They're not evil. They're not wrong. They can be inappropriately when you're addicted. Really, I shot morphine once because I had a girlfriend who was a nurse, and she would have these morphine parties. And I was never around. I would show up back in Albuquerque late on a Friday night, and she had a key, and she would be waiting for me with some tasty treats. And then we would have sex for the whole weekend, tasty treats and sex, which, I did not mind, because I was out working out there in the middle of the desert in dumbs and mines and non-disclosed locations. And that was there. Plus, I was living with Grandpa David, one of the elders of the Navajo. And So she wanted me, I went to her house one time and she wanted me to see what, was a party she was having and everybody was high strung. Then she showed up in her nurse's uniform with a little black bag, and people one by one went into a room where she went in all kind of nervous and came out very laid back. Then after everyone was like mellowed out, she came over and got me. She says, "Come in here. I want to show you something." And she had, a ampere of morphine and a fresh disposable needle. And she goes, "I want to show you what it's like to shoot morphine." Right? So, being the Aquarian that I am, I said, "Sure, give it a shot." And I did. And it was the most intense, crazed rush I've ever experienced, other than meditation. Meditation still tops morphine. But I did it once. And then I had a night with all those guys. And they nodded out. And when they came back, they wanted more. And that's when I realized that, so that was my first shot. So I didn't need to have any more. And she was, gave me just the perfect amount, have the ultimate rush and experience without dying. And I was stepping in both places, and awareness and death. And right in the middle was where that essence of love, of love's co-creation was. And I was dancing with love's co-creation. And when in the morning I came to, I took a shower in her house and I went back to my place and I never saw her again. I changed the lock on my door because I'd given her my key. And I knew where she lived. And so before I left that Sunday, I left a little note on a window in her bedroom, and which was right by her front door, and said that I really enjoyed the time we were together. I really thought she was a great person, special person, and but I was not interested in I didn't understand what world she was in. I thought she was just a nurse, but being a nurse was just her vehicle to be in this life. And I told her I wish her the best of luck, and that I was going to change the lock in my house, and tell the neighbors not to let you come around. But she could mail me a letter if she wanted to talk, because she knew my address, and I did receive mail there. Yep. And that was it. She sent me a little letter. I don't know if we ever saw each other again. And I moved forward. I kind of traveled a little bit more away from Albuquerque. That's when I went to Los Alamos for a couple of months and then went to Kirkland. And I would still come home because Kirkland is Albuquerque. I mean, Albuquerque wouldn't exist without Kirkland, but Kirkland is so gigantic. I mean, it's part of Mexico and Wyoming. It's like part of like 5 states. And so Nevada and Arizona. Anyway, so but those are all another story. And so here we are at 2 hours and 26 minutes, so around 2 hours and 30 minutes, I will say goodnight. And I hope all of you, Twitchy, everybody else who kind of came in the middle, go back and watch this video and go have that experience. And what's interesting about all the planes of reality is that they all kind of coexist. So if you guys ever, our vision, we have like peripheral vision. We can see all the way out to here. But the way our mind works, it focuses our focus. That's why the word focus, like in here. But if you spread out your focus, you can see what's on the edges of your peripheral vision. And when you do that, that's when you can see all the dimensions. That's where you can see where Hellboy came from. That's where you can see where all the dimensional characters that go bump in the night are. And once you can see all that, then you don't have to be scared of it. Once you see it, you can understand it. Once you see it, you can appreciate it, right? And you can keep yourself safe from the pitfalls that you can fall into when you don't understand it, when you can't see it. So I hope you enjoyed this evening's guided meditation. Are there any other insights? See it clearly. Remember, you can get a hold of me at Gmail. I'd love to hear from all of you because then I can have more of a personal communication. I've gotten my WhatsApp back, and so you can give me your phone numbers. Even if you're not in the United States, I can get a hold of you. We can talk. That would be very nice. I would like that. And I'd love to hear from all of the cadre. We're now getting close to 300. Last time I looked, it was like 280 something. We're getting close. It'd be nice to have 1,000 so I could go back to using my phone. But whatever we do, that's all that matters. We don't need no big Megillah. This nice little guided meditation was a pebble in the pond. Now, if you go tell your friends, hey, you need to go to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al-Bab and go look at his last guided meditation. Go look at the one that is 2 hours and 30 minutes long. The most latest one. So the last few ones have been a lot shorter. So it's getting close there. It's now 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 31 seconds. So when it hits 2:29:29, I will say goodnight. And if any of you on around the world or around at midnight or around at 5 or 6 in the morning, see if I'm doing a chat, I might be there. Twitchy, good night, sweetheart. I hope you've had a good few weeks. Are you done with school? You're done with your projects? If you wish, you and your husband can come visit me at the Deep Green. It's no more of a journey than Roanoke. I am happy for you. Twitchy, did you enjoy it, even if it was, stressful? Did you learn through experience? Did you do things that you appreciated doing? And we love you, Dragon. So say we all. The invitation to the Deep Green is always yours. And if you wish to visit anytime in dream time when I go to sleep, it's already past 10, so I'm not going to go for a swim. When I wake up in the morning, I might go for a swim. Anyway, so I love you guys. Keep up all the really great work that you're doing by bringing forth the power of attraction of the integrity of your intent. Feel it, be it. Well, I'm proud of you, Twitchy. I close my eyes and I see the presence of your intent in your focus on your work. And there is nothing better than that. You know, that's one reason why I've learned so many different skill sets, because it is the intent of the quality of doing that job, the intent of my quality as an artist, my intent and my quality as a photographer, filmmaker, writer, scholar, electrician, engineer, scientist. You know, I did all these not to have a career, but to have an experience. And that's what we're here to do. So until next time, either midnight or tomorrow morning around 6, 5, 7, 8, something like that. Okie doke. Love you guys. Till later.